Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeff, and today we're going to be continuing down our road to completing the NaNoWriMo challenge. And for those of you who don't know what NaNoWriMo is a 30-day challenge where you are to write 50,000 words over the course of 30 days during the month of November. And for most people, it's called the National Novel Writers Month because it originally was designed to be a novel writing activity. You can use it for whatever you want. 50,000 words to me is 50,000 words. So every day your goal is to write 1,660 some odd words or more to hit your quota for the day. And my job is to help you figure out the themes that you could write about for that particular day. And to help us figure out those themes, we have the Gift of Virtue Clarity deck, which is normally used for tarot, but it's a series of themes that help guide tarot readings and to help clarify tarot readings. So we're going to use that instead of in tarot, we're going to use them to decide what the themes of what it is that we're going to write is. And so I'm going to pick 3 random cards. I have the deck right here, and we're just going to pick 3 random cards and we are going to build a scenario around it. And you're going to use those ideas as a jumping off point to write your 1,600 word short story, autobiographical sketch, start of a novel. You're going to create your universe based off of what we generate off of this 7 to 8 minute session. And so let's begin. The first theme of the day is continuity. The second theme is ambition. And the third theme is pertinence. These are tricky cards. So think about these words while I glance at them for a couple of seconds, because these are a little bit more challenging, but I'm sure once we get started, we'll get going because we just need to talk it through. And so the first card that strikes me, because again, I'm looking at character traits, right? Because we have themes of continuity and we have pertinence, which is a character trait or a theme, or an event. So when people speak, we have pertinence, right? But the one that strikes me the most is ambition. And so one of the things that we can think about is we think about characters who are ambitious, and we start figuring out, gosh, how can we use ambition or an ambitious character within a story to get something taken care of? We can also look at continuity, because the ability of one thing to lead into the next, and to make sure that everything makes sense along the way, that we don't have any huge gaps or any unexplained answers, that everything runs smoothly. So everything is one continuous fluid motion. And so if you think about television, we always look about continuity errors is when somebody is wearing a hat in one scene and then all of a sudden it disappears. It's a continuity error. Or if somebody's holding a staff, or if they're holding a particular prop in one part of a scene, but then it just disappears, or their hair parts to the other side, that's a continuity issue. But a continuity issue is also the ability to move smoothly through activities. And so that is something to keep in mind, is that when we're looking at ambition and continuity together, trying to draw those two things together is really sort of interesting in my particular mind. And so I'm running into a little bit of a gap for that one. But then there's also pertinence. Does everything relate to everything else? It goes again with continuity, right? So think about ambition, right? Because the issue behind all of these is that ambition does not always create continuity, because not everything that happens is pertinent, right? Because ambition leads to rash decisions, which is the opposite of pertinent in a lot of ways. Pertinence is the ability for something to be relevant at all times, right? Is it pertinent to the situation at hand? So one of the things that you want to think about is, how do you weave these things together? I'm trying to talk my way into this particular thing myself, and this is sort of fun for me. I enjoy this stuff. And so you guys are probably going to have a better time of this because you're going to have more time to think about it. But let's talk about its options, like what options we have with these cards, and that might actually help me. So when we have pertinence, we also have its opposite. So perhaps our ambitious leader is not pertinent at all. Or perhaps ambition is the thing that the character wants, but doesn't have. And so they lack it. So whenever I turn a card upside down, I'm talking about the opposite of what they have. Just like in tarot, when something's reversed, it's usually a negative version of whatever the positive upright version is. And so maybe there is no ambition. What if you have somebody who lacks complete ambition altogether? Well, then all of a sudden things start making sense, because continuity can then also be read in its upside down state, in its reverse state. Have you ever met those people that basically their life is so haphazard that there is no continuity? One day they're a chef, the next day they're a rugby star, the next day they decide to go off and do improv, even though they can't. Lack of continuity. But also lack of ambition, because they can't focus their energies into one particular location in order to achieve that goal, which leaves them to be impertinent. That the things that they do, the actions that they do, are not pertinent to any particular goal, and that the actions that they take don't matter. But at the same time, that pertinence, that is another character, because this person who lacks ambition has people in life who are trying to get them to think and be more pertinent in their decisions, right? Make pertinent decisions and say pertinent things. So that might be another way of looking at it, because these cards don't always have to come out the way that they're set up, because in their upright position, being pertinent with ambition and continuity don't always go together. But if you start mixing them up and start thinking about their opposites, then all of a sudden things start happening. So you might have a character who's all about pertinence, who really knows all of the stuff to say at the right time, that the whole idea of saying, no, this is how your life needs to be. This has to have relevance. You can't just jump around all over the place, and you have to have some sense of focus to help bring the person who lacks ambition to a place of ambition, to help bring order to their life. Now, yes, this is all about timeliness or suitability, connection with the present, and the fit to the current moment. That's pertinence. Everything there is a season. This is, I'm reading the card. For an ambitious person, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Move, move, move. The desire and determination to achieve a goal, the aspiration for success. Not everything that happens there is a pertinent thing. And continuity. One thing leads to another, right? One continuous stream. An unbroken chain of events, a series of happenings connected through cause and effect. Well, if you met a lot of people in their early 20s, early to mid 20s, and I'm from Generation X, so we're really good at not being good at this. We didn't have continuity because we were in a grunge band while we were also trying to get our MBA, while we were also trying to stop something, right? And actually we weren't. We were really lazy that way. But we were not connected in any way. We were the original hyphenated multiple gig economy generation in that regard. So continuity was not something that we had. And Generation X is like in their 20s. We were the losers, the slackers, the creeps, right? But there always has to be someone around to help us organize ourselves. So I'm not ripping on Gen X, because we all live our lives, and I'm sorry, but every group of people between the ages of 18 and 30 can do whatever the heck they want. They don't have to have continuity in their lives. They do not. They don't always have to have ambition. The ones that do get further, but the ones that don't, it is what it is. Write yourself a story about that. Whatever I just said, be lazy in your 20s. I don't care. That's a character trait. A father who says that to a kid, what are they saying? I have enough gray hair where I can get away with that. Who's the pertinent person who's going to come in and say, that wasn't the right thing to say? We have a story. We have a parent who's trying to get rid of a child who has no ambition and no continuity. And then you have a father who's like, yeah, so what? But you have the pertinent person saying whatever. So it could be a father, it could be a mother, it could be a sister, it could be whatever. But that would be the scene that I would create, is how do you address the unambitious one? Who is going to be the pertinent one to create continuity for that particular person? So I hope that helps a little bit. This one took a little bit longer because we had to talk it through a little bit. But remember that whenever you have a theme, turn it around. Whenever you have a theme, turn it around. And then start seeing how all of these ideas connect. So again, our themes for today are pertinence, ambition, and continuity. And with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful time writing your 1,700 words, and I will see you next time.